I show you shadow copy, otherwise we can leave that one. Okay. Other backup kind of stuff also we'll try to store. Okay. This is a data deduplication. Yesterday, when we discussed about NTFS features, like a compression. So data storage, data backup. So in there, one of the challenges, data storage main challenge, right? So either backup or just a normal storage it is, but challenge is always storage challenges are there. You think like this, YouTube or Instagram or maybe what we say Facebook, right? So a lot of data is coming into that place. Lot of data. Every day, a lot of videos, pictures uploading into their servers. So they need to be stored, right? They need to be stored in their servers and need to be accessed faster. Platform is very slow, then also it is very dense. So they need to be accessed faster as well as need to be stored. Okay. Some are present data is required. Some are very old data that maybe take time to get access. So managing the storage is a different techniques also there. Okay. So of course, NAS and other storage things, RAID, LVM kind of stuff. And to facilitate the data into the storage devices, so different techniques is. One of the thing is compression. You compress the data and keep the data. Even your backup data or regular data, you compress the data and keep, by compressing the data, you will get more free space. For example, there is a data, it is around 1 terabyte of data is there. You compress the data, the compressed data is a 600 GB, for example. So you save the 400 GB space. The data is occupied 1 terabyte of space. So you compressed it and now it is 600 GB. So you save the 400 GB disk space. So that is one of the storage method, compression. Even we discussed about a backup. When you take in a backup, you store the backup into the backup location. So when you are storing backup into backup location, while taking a backup or while storing the backup, you prefer a compression also along with the compression. If you know, I don't know, I don't know. So that's like a tar files. TAR is like a rare file sound. Means archive. So you want to archive the files, means you have a bunch of files, combine and make it as a single file. You have a bunch of files, you combine and make it a single file, like a zip file. In a Linux, it is tar. Okay. Now you want to compress this tar file using gzip. Gzip means gunzip or bunzip2, xzip, like a different compression techniques. And use those techniques to compress the file. The size will be reduced from like a 100 MB is become automatically a 20 MB file. Depends upon the what kind of compression level you are used. What kind of compression level usage. 7-zip, WinRAR, okay, zip, Linux, gunzip, bzip. So use compression to save the disk space. This is one technique. To prevent data from the corruption, we use REFS, resilient file system. Means the disk is formatted with REFS, then we store the data. So if any data is possible corruption data, with a reading and writing, possibility data is corrupted. To prevent it from corruption, we better store into the REFS formatted files. But it won't support compression. But it does support compression. But it's one technique. That's so different challenges in the storages. For different challenges, we do different techniques. You need a access permission or you need an encryption. Data is a very sensitive. It's not allowed by unauthorized access. So you have to specify which user can able to access or which group users can able to access, which users or which group users cannot able to access the data. Reading, writing, access permission means securing your data. Okay. So data is instead of specifying the user or a group to access reading and writing. So if a user having an encryption key, so they can able to access the data. So then you can encrypt the data and you can give the encryption key to the user. If the user has a key to access the data. So no other are allowed. No one can able to alter your data also. Data is encrypted. Okay. And of course, we are also discuss write. We can increase the disk size to facilitate more data using write 0 or write 5. If your name one of the disk is failure, we can able to use a redundancy techniques like a mirror volumes or write 5 volume, write 6 volumes. Okay. So different storage solutions. Again, like that, one of the technique is data deduplication. Data deduplication. So the aim of the data deduplication, like compression, to save the disk space. Like compression to save the disk space. Okay. And the data deduplications will be provided by different storage appliances or applications, and your Windows system, like your Windows server, also provide data deduplication also. Okay. So in a Windows server, we have to install this data deduplication role. Once you are installed and configure it, and you can apply this deduplication on the specific disk drives. So then what are the data is stores in that drive? So this deduplication, this create a metadata on the data, and then it is try to save your disk. How it will works, we'll see that. Data deduplication. Identify and remove duplications which is within the data without compromising the data's integrity and fidelity. As goal to restore more data on the less space. What is the goal of the data deduplication? Storing more data in the less space. Or getting more space. Okay, by doing so, we'll get a more free space. So when you enable data deduplication on the volume, the background task runs a low-level priority that it segments data into small and variably sized chunks. Okay. So what it will do? What are the data? You put a data in the volume and you apply data deduplication on the specific drive or volume, like a C drive, D drive, for example. What is this data deduplication will do it? It won't pop up and it don't disturb your any process. It runs in the background. Okay, it runs in the background. It's not overtaking any other process. It will silently runs in the background. What it will do, it chop the data into pieces. Chop the data into pieces. That's we call chunks. Okay. So data is divided into chunks, small pieces. In that one, it will identify similar kind of pieces. A piece contains this piece of data. This piece contains this piece of data. It see the pieces. It see the those pieces. Okay. It see the those pieces. Okay. So two or similar pieces are there. Two or more repetition is there. Two or more is there. Then it remove those duplicates. It's not deleting like you have file 1, file 2, both are there. So remove one file. No, it's not like that. You take file 1, file 2, file 3, file 4, file 5, and you take your data and divide into small pieces. Identify similar kind of data and remove those things. Those things will be replaced with a kind of reference and compress the remaining chunks with a reference. This picture, maybe we can try to understand using this picture. Yeah, we can try. So here it is. I have a file 1 and file 2. What is data deduplication is done? It chops the data into small pieces. In those files, there is commonly A, B, C is there. But in a file 1, M and part is there. In a file 2, X, Y is also there. So on that file, it create metadata. It is also take the metadata of the files. And what are the common files in between? Commonly, it is in what one, what is not common. Then it combines into the metadata storage. Okay, in chunk store, what it is see the chunk store. Okay, it take the metadata of file 1 and file 2. What is that file, when it is created, where it is created, where is the chunks are stored, okay, location of their related chunks, that information in that chunk store method. And see, it is A, B, C, M, N, X, Y is there. So total, A, B, C is a common. So it remove the common one and make it as a single one. So in file 1, file 2, the common chunks are removed, replaced with one single one. And that is replaced with a reference. So when you're accessing the file 1, you don't feel you're accessing MN. Or file 2, you are not feeling you're accessing some pattern. But when your user is accessing, it is accessing like a same data type only. Same data, same to same data only. So data deduplication is a kind of technique or a service to gain more space in the disk or to store the more data in the less spaces. What data deduplication will do, when you apply the data deduplication on a particular drive like a C drive or D drive or E drive or some pen drive or hard disk or anything in volume, what happened? It chop the data, segment the data, means you chop the data into smaller chunks. Segment means chopping the data into the small chunks. These chunks means piece of data. It check any duplication in the chunks and replace these duplicates with a simple reference. So when people are accessing the data, they're accessing their file as a complete file set only. But in a background, it not complete data is there, because the complete data means the certain data which is unique between the files will be replaced by these references. Not unique means not common between the files, will be like that only. But when you are accessing, it's look like same. That is data deduplication. Okay, guys, anybody understand? Everybody? What is data deduplication? Certain backup softwares, backup appliances, storage appliances has a integrated feature with a data deduplication. Okay. In our Windows Server, because Windows Server, with using a Windows Server, you can also manage storage. You can make a Windows Server as a storage server. Then you can already, from 2012 server version onwards, you got a data deduplication service inside. Yeah. Maybe it's in a Linux, maybe possible if a Linux data deduplication any package is there. So maybe you can try to install it and you can get it. Guys, understand data deduplication.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good,
Yes.
good. Okay. If anybody asks, these are the points. Okay. Anybody asks means in an interview, these are the points, and you can also explain the whole what you are understand from the data deduplication. Next, backup and snapshot. I think you guys know snapshot from VMware. VMware, you created a virtual machines, right? Windows or Linux machine you created. I think Sir already showed snapshot, how to create a snapshot. You know, guys, snapshot, right?
Yes, sir.
Very,
Debug that.
Yes, sir.
very good, very good. Okay. A snapshot is a common word for lot of this. Even database snapshot is there, storage snapshot is there, machine snapshot is also there. Yesterday, we have seen one that is Rookstar. In that one, snapshot option is also showing. What is that snapshot is? Data snapshot, means storage snapshot it is. Okay. Backup and snapshot. Again, what is the backup? We know what is the backup, right? You have a data. You have a data, and that data we take it, put it in a other storage location, right? This is called backup. Purpose of taking backup means in case of data deletion, data corruption, or you want to restore into the earlier position, even disk is damaged, disk is down, so you can able to restore the data from your backup location, right? This is the purpose of backup. But snapshots, it can be any snapshot. So for example, you take a snapshot of your system, snapshot of your virtual machine. What is the purpose of taking your snapshot? Okay, purpose of taking snapshot is in original system, in a system, for example, you install operating system and you install some application and some package you done. The machine is running fine, very good. But you want to try something, you want to try to install some application or you want to test some application or you want to do certain changes settings. It may causes the issue. Possibility you may get a problem. Or you want to test some application to do it. Okay. So it may causes an issue. Okay. So what you will do, we'll take a snapshot. The first machine, when you create the first machine, that's the first machine, that entire before taking a snapshot, all your operating system, application, and data is in the one virtual disk. Okay, in a virtual disk. Your virtual machines, virtual hard disk, it will store. After taking a snapshot, means this snapshot will create a separate virtual hard disk. This is original virtual hard disk. This is a separate virtual hard disk is created and it is linked between those two things. This is like a parent, this is like a child. So what are the parent disk content data can be accessed from child disk? Means after snapshot, what are the before snapshot you have created? That's things we are able to access. But what are the changes you made after the snapshot? It won't affect on the previous one. It is won't affect on the original one, original parent storage. So you change the data. Maybe you install an application. Okay, you change the settings. All these things stores in the separate disk, but both are in the same physical location. Parent and child generally both are in the same physical location. Both are virtual hard disk, both are located in the same disk, but separately distributed. The thing is what happened after taking snapshot. You are trying to do some application testing. Sadly, that is application throwing some kind of error. So you don't know how to remove that application, or maybe it is disturb your entire system. You're getting BSODs, blue screen of death issues, or maybe system related crashes it is occur. Then what we can able to do? We can restore back to the previous state. Restore it back to the previous state. So when restored back to the previous state means what are these things changes are occurred? What are the changes are done after this snapshot taken? All these things will be gone. So before that one in the original system, in the original hard disk, what are they there? It will only available. Okay, what are the changes you have done? That will be. So it's we can able to go back to the previous state. That is called a snapshot. Okay. Similarly, yesterday using in a Rockstar, okay, storage snapshot, same thing. Storage snapshot means it creates a snapshot on your storage disk. Means after that, okay, it can be a NFS folder. On a NFS folder, you are taking a snapshot. Okay, so before taking this NFS snapshot, what are the data inside this NFS shared folder? This will be saved in the one place. And this second one will create as a reference. So after taking snapshot, what are the changes you are made done? It will be saved as a separate reference type. Okay. So anything happens means you done some modifications in your data. Maybe you are accidental deletion, or maybe you add some data and that is not a good idea. Right? And what you do, you can able to go back to the previous state in case of the changes are not giving a proper result. Even database snapshot. In Oracle database, you can also take your database snapshots. Once you take a database snapshot, after snapshot, you made any changes, it won't affect on the original data. Okay. If you roll back to the previous state, in case you made certain changes, you want to do certain changes. So then before changes, you done a snapshot, you done a changes, and it is not giving actual result, proper result. So then you can roll back to the previous state. That is a snapshot. So in a snapshot, either it is you take a snapshot of an entire virtual machine, a snapshot of a simple storage device, or a simple storage location, simple storage kind of thing. Or maybe you're taking a snapshot of database. That snapshots will be located in the same disk space only, same physical locations only. Snapshots are for quick rollback to the previous state. Snapshots are used for quick rollback to the previous state. And snapshots are not a replacement of backup. Whether you are having snapshot or no snapshot, it's not replacement of backup, because backup is actually it will take your data, store in somewhere different locations. You have a snapshot of your virtual machine, but your hard disk is failed, physical hard disk is failed. You can't go back. You lost both. Means your physical hard disk data, and virtual machine also you lost it. Okay. So snapshot means only in case that particular data related, particular machine related changes, after snapshot something is got bad, then you will go back to the previous state. Entire disk is down, the snapshots are no useful. Okay. So, but backup, even disk is failure, but you have an entire disk backup in the backup location. You can replace the disk, just replace the disk and restore the data from backup location. Meaning is again here. This is entirely in a physical hard disk. In case the physical hard disk is down, okay, You can't get this your virtual machine, their parent or child, everything is gone here. Can't roll back or nothing. It's you lost your virtual machine. But you have taken a backup, the disk is failure, you replace the disk, and we can able to restore it into the disk. That's why backup is compulsory. That's why backup is compulsory. I have this server, Windows 2003 server. Windows 2003 server means it's around a 2003, 2004 time it is released. Okay, that's a very old server, 20 years back server it is installed in my system. But this is not 2003, this is a 2019 server I installed yesterday. A 2003 server, mainly it is to help you to understand the incremental and differential backups. So normal, incremental, differential backup and daily backup, copy backup kind of stuff also. If you want, I can able to show you that's how to create a backup and restore a backup. But I use this machine so many days back or so many years back. Okay. So only for backup purpose only I install this one. But now what I want to show it to you is a shadow copy. The storages. So one of the important thing is disk management. MG, MT, MSC. Guys, I have only C drive and this disk is already GPT disk. So C drive is a 160 GB, 159 point something GB. Now I want to shrink this volume, means it's totally 160 GB. Now I want a something space is required and I will take it 102400 means I want to take 100 GB separated like this. In the 100 GB I'm going to create means I cut the 160 GB into 60 GB and 100 GB. Okay, that is shrinking. So when I specified 100 GB shrink means I got a 100 GB free from my C drive. Yes, it's empty disk, empty space. I will take it outside. In that one, we can create a simple volumes also. If I done this one at least before, so it is very useful for you to understand. It's running very fast. 40960 means it's a 40 GB volume I am creating with NTFS file system. So I created a 40 GB disk, still 60 GB unallocated is there. This is our E drive, 40 GB free space. Purpose of creating this one is, I will show it. I want to put some data in it. We have some files data. We'll take this one. Take here. Okay, remember how many files are there? Totally 7 files are there. Totally, we have 7 files. 4.3 for 34.3 KB file is there. This is another technique to quick rollback to the previous state kind of stuff. So right click on the your drive properties. Of course, it is showing here also previous restores previous version configure shadow copy. Here also it is showing, but I am going to the properties. Okay, shadow copies. On the E drive, it is showing disabled. So I am enabling on the E drive. Click yes, enabling shadow copy. So enable shadow copy on the E drive. Here is the settings. What is the limit? How much data it will be facilitate? At least 300 GB it is asking, but it is given use limit is 4 GB. That is more than enough. You can schedule your shadow copy also. Weekly, daily, monthly. See, you can schedule your shadow copy. So every day it has to be taken shadow copy like that. You can do. Okay. So when I enable it, automatically it's create a shadow copy. If you want to create yourself, again, you can create it. Create now. You want to delete the existing one, delete one. You want to go to the previous state, you can click on the revert. Okay. So once again, see it. Go to the properties, shadow copy. I click on here and click enable. So I enable the shadow copy in this E drive. Okay. When I enable it, a shadow copy is created in this date and time. You see the date and time 0702 means 7th February 2026 on 1521 means 321. This shadow copy entry is happened. What are the data is before this one is safe. Any modification occurs means a new data is added or existing data is deleted. I can go back to this. I can go back to the data which is before this. Look at it. I have these files. Now what I'm doing is I'm deleting some of the files. I'm deleting. There's a 4 files. Means Windows CMDs, YouTube description, okay, storage devices, software requirements. Shift delete. I'm doing shift delete. Shift delete means permanent delete. See 4 items, permanent delete. Now I deleted it. Now what to do? Accidentally delete the file after shadow copy is created. Right click. You can use restore previous version or go to the properties, shadow copy, click here. You can see revert option or you can go to previous version. Go to previous version, only one previous version is created. You can click open to see what is the, see these are the previous version means before 321. This is the data. This is the data in the before 321. Okay. But right now, what is the data? Only these files. You want to restore? Restore into this point, click on the restore. See this? Restore the files. Got it? This is shadow copy. Again, the shadow copy is like a snapshot. It's not a snapshot, but it's like a snapshot. The shadow copy also similar in your device. Your data, when you take a shadow copy, when you go to a shadow copy, so on that particular date and time, what is the data inside? What is the data in the disk? Stores. What is the data in the disk? Okay, it's stored. It's keep that data. Means it will create a reference. This data is there before this shadow copy is created. that information kept separately inside the same disk only. It's not a separate copy. It kept the track of the data, what is the data which is there inside your disk before the snapshot is created. So while you are creating snapshot, then it will like this is in this particular date, these are the data is there. That information stored separately in your disk only, information stores. So, and after that, after snapshot means sorry, after shadow copy is created, you've done some modification in your existing data. Done some modification in your existing data, or maybe you deleted some files. Maybe you added some files. Later, you realize something just changed. That's not should be. It should be, I want to go back to the previous to the shadow copy is taken. Then you will go to the previous version. So select what are the version you want to restore, then select it. Means maybe the previous one means last one, or maybe the earlier one. Select it, click open and verify. Click open and verify what data you want to get back again. And go to the restore. So after restore, verify it. Okay. So this is shadow copy. On which system I have taken a snapshot? I didn't remember. Maybe those things are I deleted. If I've taken a snapshot on any system, so I can able to show you how it is looking. So this is a virtual hard disk. This is a virtual hard disk. If you've taken a snapshot in it, there is another virtual hard disk is created. The original data means before taking snapshot, the data actually it's inside only. And this disk again, it's become a parent disk. So if you take a snapshot, the snapshot time, it will create separate disk, that is a child disk. The original data is here, the child is separated. Any modification you have done, that stores in the parent disk only. This is any other things are there to which I forget? Okay, take a small break, guys, just 10 minutes. And we need to discuss two appliances mainly. One is net backup, another one is VM. First, we'll see about net backup. Already I told I do not have that interface of net backup. Installation is also very complex. But I will try to show you some screens and explanation means what are the main points in the net backup. Okay. Take a 10 minutes, be back in 10 minutes. So 340.